Devastation and heartbreak as Samoans count the cost of a deadly tsunami.
You have a look over here. Everything is just completely wiped out.
More than 140 people killed, among them 3 Australians. Many more injured as the world scrambles to provide aid.
This is Nine's Late News.
Good evening and welcome to this special edition of Nine's Late News with the very latest from the tsunami zone in Samoa. 18 hours on, the island nation is reeling from the powerful earthquake and the tsunami that followed. At least 140 people are now feared dead, among them 3 Australians, one of them a 6-year-old girl. 7 other Australians are still missing. The devastation is immense, especially in the south of the country, where entire villages have been washed away. Mark Burrows begins our coverage.
What was once paradise now wiped out by a wall of water. Boats rest high on once pristine beaches, while cars are being thrown around like toys.
You have a look over here. Everything is just completely wiped out.
The magnitude 8 quake hit early. 6:30 in the morning, Samoans had little time to head for higher ground before the tsunami swept in.
As you can see over here, the bridge is just totally wiped out by the waves.
Australian Chris Booth and his wife Wendy run a resort on the south coast of Samoa. They have been left with nothing after it was devastated by a series of waves.
And the 4th one that just went through the house is at least 8 metres, and it was travelling at about 30 miles an hour, I reckon. It was very fast. It just came. You could see it coming. You had nowhere to run.
Wendy and Chris survived, so did their guests.
We managed to hang on to a handrail. My husband and I just hung on to each other in the handrail, and then that one went with a suck out was tremendous.
But dozens have died.
You can imagine the sheer force of that.
Among the Australians dead, Marie Blacker, whose husband John is a well-known horse trainer in Tasmania. He's in hospital with broken bones. They were celebrating her 50th birthday in Samoa.
We look after their dog and birds while they're away, and yeah, it's very sad.
Also killed Victorian schoolteacher Vivian Hodgins and a 6-year-old girl. The epicentre of the undersea quake was 190 kilometres south of Samoa. The tsunami spread across the Pacific. Samoa hit first. A small island north of Tonga was also swamped. At least 10 died here. Here's the first look at the power of the tsunami. This is a bay in New Zealand, thousands of kilometres away from where the quake struck. But look at how powerful the surge of water is. And this account from someone in the water.
I'd gone out on the surf, sort of about 6:30. Earthquake hadn't hit then, and went out there. So got a couple of waves, and then guy come out and said, "Oh, there'd been an earthquake," and then all of a sudden the sort of reef just started sucking dry, and it sort of turned to a river basically, and we were getting dragged out quite quickly. And then as further we got out, we realised everything started, the water started almost bubbling like a river, and then started flooding back in.
This afternoon, the aftershocks rolled in and terrified Samoans rushed for the hills. No one seems focused yet on the relief effort. Mark Burrows, 9 News.
We know that at least 6 Australians were injured in the tsunami. One of them was Robert Beebruth. He and his partner Gillian Brisbane were sucked out of their holiday beach hut by the force of the wave. Here's a little of what they had to say.
We saw water crashing in, rising up from the floor first and then crashing in through the windows second. Then on we were just tossed around like bits of fairy floss, just smashed all over the place. That was the first wave. We got sucked out, and then we got hit by the second wave, and that dumped us, I don't know, 200 or 300 metres from where we were.
To 9 News reporter Denham Hitchcock now. He's in Samoa for us tonight. Denham, what's the feeling amongst the people up there? They must be very scared.
Well, that's right, Peter. I mean, the people here, they've never seen anything like it. I mean, first they have an earthquake that cracked the foundations. Next, they have a tsunami that came in 2 waves. And the people that seem to have lived through it, they've spoken about 2 waves that have swept through the second one like a surge that you just simply couldn't swim through. Now, some of the places when you walk through it is just debris as far as you can see. In others, it looks like it's swept clean, like the buildings were never there in the first place. Now, Samoa has a population of about 188,000 people here, but because of the mountains along the centre, most of them live on the coastline. So, Peter, there are a lot of people affected. That death toll and the number of injured are certain to rise.
Denham, it's 1 o'clock in the morning in Samoa. Are there fears of more waves, and are people sleeping?
Well, Peter, it's funny you should mention that. It is very early in the morning here, but on the drive through there are still a lot of people up, a lot of people sitting on their porches, a lot of people standing in the roadway. I'm here at the hospital. There's a large gathering here as well. Now, one place that we did stop along the way was a sporting field. There's 200 to 300 people there just sleeping on the concrete, sleeping out on the grass. Now, many of them have either lost their homes or they're simply just too frightened to go back because, as you say, of that possible second wave.
And any sense from you yet, Denham, about the rescue effort? What's happening on the ground?
Well, Peter, the Red Cross is certainly very heavily involved here at the moment. And I do understand New Zealand is certainly on their way, but you will find a lot of locals here are helping out. They're just following the Red Cross and the UN in their own cars, just doing what they can. I have one of the local residents with me here at the moment, Martin. Mate, I don't know if you lived here all your life. Just tell me what it was like when the earthquake actually struck here.
It's very frightening. When the earthquake hit, we hit it straight up to where my mother lives on the east side of the island. And the most frightening thing was seeing the beach dry up. We've never seen something like that before. But we heard that when it dries up like that, there's a big wave coming. So when we got to where my mother lives out on the east coast, we all headed up to the hills.
Yeah. Now, one of the worst hit towns is Lolomanu, which is on that southeast tip there. And I know that you went through there today. What was that like?
No words can really describe how it feels. Devastating. Like I said, we're more likely to get hit by a cyclone than a tsunami, and this is the first time that we got hit, and it's tragic.
Okay. Well, Martin, thanks for talking to us. So there you go, Peter. A lot of people have been affected by this, not just the people that are injured or in the hospitals behind me, but just those who have, like Martin, simply seen what happened.
All right, Denham. Denham Hitchcock reporting to us tonight from